This is a message I want to give to my country and to other countries of the world as well. What happened to our nation's police department, or for that matter, to all the police of all nations of the world? What has it become? Why such a change? All my life, I have always looked up to the police department like one I can trust and respect, and I knew if one day I needed to call a police officer for help from a real life threatening situation or any other situation, I was certain I could depend completely on your service, and I knew you would wish no hesitate and I knew you would with no hesitation come to my rescue and defense. I was happy that we had that kind of security in our community, knowing that the police force was always there to protect us all, and that gave us the sense of security that we can all enjoy life freely by you keeping the peace among us. I was pleased with your police force, but now I am not so sure anymore. On second thought, I am afraid to say I am not. The prime duty and responsibility for the department used to be to protect and to save all lives, but now it is not there to protect all lives. One life in particular that is denied its citizen protection is the life of the most vulnerable one of our civil society, the unborn and innocent babies. When the babies in the womb of their mother are silently calling for help and their lives are being threatened, you do not come to their rescue and defense. You just let them die and suffer the consequences of enduring miserable pain inflicted by being sucked out forcibly with sharp surgical equipment from the womb of their mother, or being cut up piece by piece, and after that thrown into a trash bucket. How awful and sad that your reputation has been tarnished from this drastic change from the culture of Delt society and mindset, and that you go along with it. All you guys and gals are only good for is arresting those who defend life and protect those who are killing them. Your motto should be written on your vehicle: to serve and protect, except babies. And your phone number should be: we do not accept 911 emergency calls for babies. In my days, police would come in a heartbeat if they ever found out anyone aborting a baby. They would come quickly and make a stop to this and save that baby's life and arrest the abortionist in those days. Policemen had some moral standard. Today, they do not seem to have any. Some of them could not care less about it. Fortunately, I think some do. I'm glad I was born in 1948, because today, if I was in my mother's womb, there are greater chance of me not coming out alive, and that would be because of the police force and the government officials in action. And I can't thank you both for letting me be killed. Today, the mother's womb is the worst place for babies to be, where it used to be the safest place before. How time has changed for the worse. Can anyone not see this calamity is simply and totally wrong? Anyone with a sense of morality and sane mind would not agree with this, and certainly we would expect the police department to think the same way as those who are pro-lifers and against abortion. How did this once fine and reputable organization ever become the opposite of what it meant to be, into becoming now helpers and protectors of mass baby killers and criminals in abortion clinics? Where has its credibility gone? Have you become criminals yourselves? Abortionists should be stopped and arrested for a hate crime. Isn't there a law against hate crime? Hate crime is not only someone speaking out in wanting to kill someone else. A hate crime is also someone that kills someone else. When you hate someone, it is the same as wanting to kill that person. Isn't the definition of a hate crime one who kills someone? I guess abortionists must hate babies, but no, only the pro-lifers are haters, and are arrested because they love babies and do not want to see them being killed, but to save their life. I do agree pro-lifers have something, but not the kind of hate. I do agree for pro-lifers hate something, but not the kind of hate you think. They hate seeing and hearing babies being killed. Maybe they should get a reward like a Nobel Peace Prize for baby human rights, or a Medal of Honor for trying to save their lives instead of a jail sentence. It is said in Isaiah chapter 5 verses 20, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, but put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Does any of you remember that passage of the Bible? Do not take it lighter, but heed to it. Do you know, for those who says evil is good and good is evil, that passage could mean committing the sin of blaspheming the Holy Spirit, which is the unpardonable sin that Jesus talked about. We better think seriously about this and stop contradicting the Holy Spirit, which he says abortion is wrong and we say it is right. What your department is doing or not doing is far worse than the baby killers themselves. I can't understand abortionists killing babies. That is what they are paid to do for a living. But you guys and gals are paid to protect lives, and now you are not even doing what you are paid to do. We might as well say you are paid to protect abortionists. You are just as guilty as them for supporting and sympathizing with their action. Should we have you arrested for the same crime? Your pay salary is worth nothing and has no value to stand on. It is only blood money that you are holding. Somehow you are receiving indirectly money from the abortionists and genocidal baby killers. Every time you go shopping with that money, think about where that money came from. We cannot speak up against it anymore because we lost our freedom, free speech in account of this government unlawful bubble zone law. If anyone disobeys this law, you guys will quickly arrest them and accuse them of hate crimes and charge them with a stiff penalty with a heavy fine that will ruin anyone's life forever and put them in prison where there was no crime committed in the first place. But ironically, the one who commits the most heinous crime, the abortionist, gets a free pass and is let go with a pat on his back, as is to say to him, "Keep on doing what you are doing. Dr. Mengele, you are doing a great job for women's rights to kill their babies." Don't you guys find there is no justice but hypocrisy in your organization? When it comes to this, where is your justice? We certainly cannot find it in your department anymore. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. Think about it. Look at yourself in the mirror every morning of every day with your uniform on. Are you pleased to see yourself wearing it for what it is worth? Does it stand for what it believes? Make sure to keep wearing that clean uniform with all those metal on it if you have any, and do not get it dirty every time you walk out the door and face society with contempt toward those babies, because those metals will tarnish very quickly. The police department has almost become like the Nazis of the Second World War, a genocidal regime of a mass proportion of murderers at a grand scale of evilness. In those days, there were SS officers and SS guards doing the dirty work for the government. And when they were caught and sent to trial, they said they were only following orders, as if to say it is not our fault, and tried to justify their killing to get away from that responsibility. They would not admit to their wrongdoing and could not face the reality of their demise life. Many have no remorse for what they have done. You are somehow doing the same thing as them, taking orders from their leader Adolf Hitler, which is like today the Supreme Court, the federal government, the provincial government, and the municipality government. Do you know there is no law against abortion in our country? Babies can be aborted 1 second before they can come out. Some nations kill them even after they are born. You want to protect and stand by that? Where is your conscience? Two other countries that have no laws against abortion, they are China and North Korea. All nations who abort their babies are violating human rights with this genocidal belief, just like those two countries. How shameful. Worldwide abortion has killed so far 2 to 2.5 billion babies since it was allowed, and it keeps on rising. We have done the most amount of killing and shedding of blood of innocent lives than all the past dictators combined. This is maddening. I am sure some of your police officers have some moral obligation and are excellent at their job and do not agree with this law and have no pleasure arresting people where they know they have not done anything wrong. Since they are forced to go against their belief and to compromise with the law, they fear reprisal for speaking out and subsequently losing their job in the end. I do not blame them. They too have lost their God-given freedom of expression and belief. Why are you not supporting and defending your own police officers who are against it? The more I delve into this subject, the more I find your organization's reputation going down the tube and is being drained into the abyss. It is becoming more and more sickening every minute. When you think about it, by comparing that what it used to be in the past and what it is today, I could see why I feel that way. I am starting to lose my faith and the respect I used to have for you guys and gals, and now it is gradually going away. I find that your organization is becoming every day more and more useless and powerless from what it was once before, a reputable establishment that we could all be pleased with and count on. And now it is just fading away, and that reputation will be gone in the minds of people forever soon. What good is it to keep having you for our protection when you are not for the little ones anymore? Maybe you will not be for the big ones in the future either. The clearer it gets, the more I see there is no bright future for all of us. How far will it go? Who knows? It sure does not look too promising. It will not get any better if this keeps going on. Now, in today's world, abortionists go scot-free and are getting extraordinarily rich from it. It is quite a lucrative business. They have the freedom to keep on killing and killing as many as they want by the thousand each day, and millions each year. And it is not being stopped by you because you find this is okay. A society that destroys its unborn baby with such abandonment should never hope to have a happy or peaceful future, or should never demand and expect some right giving to themselves if they are not willing to give to those babies. In today's society, babies have no rights of life at all and cannot speak for themselves whatsoever, and have far less chance of getting the protection they need, which they depend on you to give, and now they have lost it. Since this new man-made bubble zone law, it has made it even more difficult for those who are pro-life, trying to save lives, where you guys should be doing that in the first place. Now you are helping this government to pass the law by implementing it forcibly. Let me tell you, there is a law that trumps all laws, and that is the law of God. One day all of us will have to give an account for our action or inaction, and I could tell you we will regret it if we disobey His law. Police today are spineless and powerless. By not saying anything about a law they know is wrong, they have no guts to stand up against a government that is so hateful toward babies. They just sit there and say nothing. Life goes on as nothing is happening, living for today and not for tomorrow. What goes around comes around attitude. We flow and move with the wind instead of going against it. That really sums it up pretty well. Apathy everywhere and weakness to do anything about it. We become really me, myself, and I careless society, and we will regret it someday. May I suggest on how to bring back your credibility and bring yourself to stand on your ground of justice and to honor your duty and responsibility like your past police officers did, who would not accept this law but would call out the government lawlessness and tell them we are not on your side with this. Let them know you will defy this law because it goes against what you stand for and what you believe in and what you are paid for to do, and that is to save lives, no matter if they are inside the womb or outside. Tell them there is no preference or special treatment to anyone. All are equal in your eyes and beliefs, and that you cannot make the decision who should live and who should die. It is not our call to do, period. Please have some backbone, guys and gals. Stand up for what it is right and just. Disobey or come up with a solution of some kind with the government that is fair with this law, and tell them we will not abide and compromise, and we will stand in solidarity with pro-lifers and our pro-life police officers and warn them if they force us to comply, then do not expect us to arrest anyone who is protesting or not accept calls from abortionists and any government official for petty crimes. Show what the government is asking you to do by giving them your peace of mind, and tell them they are not going to rule over you. What is the government going to do if you did stand up against this ruling? Are they all going to fire you? That is practically impossible. It will cause mayhem and destruction. How can they keep the peace if there are no police officers available to protect all of us? They themselves are incapable of imposing a law on you if you take this defined approach. You also have the power of authority. Use it to protect use it to protest and disobey in solidarity with your entire police officers, and push some strict sanctions on your leaders. Just imagine if you have the support of all the other police forces across the entire country, or all the nations of the world who think like you. They will have to abide by your ruling, not you by them. Guys, start something for heaven's sake. I played with you for the sake of the little one in our country. Someone must start to wake us all up and get this ball rolling with a new movement of defenders of the unborn, and there is no other better place than the police department to start and act upon it. It is time to bring back your incredible achievement of truth and justice of the past into the forefront of today's society as an experienced and caring establishment that has proudly done before, and bring that same protection today to some who have theirs denied. Do you not find this ridiculous? What is being done here in our country and the world? If nothing is being done and are continued the same way, then I will know my message was not taken seriously and probably end up with dead ears and label me as a foolish and crazy guy. If that is the case, I would have to say you are not part of the solution, but you are part of the problem. That is so sad. If we cannot depend on the police department, who can we depend on now? Since I care for every police officer, here is my message to you. Do not stay in a job that forces you to do something you do not agree, that will condemn you. If you stay, walk away and find another job that is more ethical and less shameful. If you want to stay in this job but do not agree with the law, then stand up for your right and their right and fight it. Be brave and bold and politically non-correct. In Mark chapter 8, verse 34 to 40, Jesus said, when he had called the people to himself with his disciples, also he said to them, whoever desired to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever desired to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel will save it. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him the Son of Man also will be ashamed when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. I do not know what kind of belief or faith anyone in the police department has, but one day every one of us are going to face judgment. And if anyone refuses to give life to anyone else in this life, they should not expect to merit a glorious reward in the afterlife. If we have not given it to the least among us, then we have not given it to the one who created them. The door will be shut in front of us, and we will die a second death for eternity, while these babies who are let die in this world will be living in the next in heaven, taking our place and no more room for yours. I cannot understand anyone who are trained to save lives would fall into the lies that is being perpetrated, that killing baby is an okay thing these days, and to let it happen because the law of the land says so, even when one knows it is terribly wrong, that someone could do something about it if they want to, but do not. It is all in the name of cowardness, afraid it might hurt the career or get reprimanded and condemned. But if all the police who are against it, I am sure there are some who would get together and speak up. Maybe something could change and arrive at a meaningful solution. Is anybody out there have any backbone and are brave enough to stand up for justice? Talk about some weakness and lukewarm attitude for your powerless action. If this is the police of every police department, then there is no hope for mankind. And it sadly shows the credibility of the police department, what it has become by not doing what their duties ask of them. Their motto used to be to serve and protect. Now it is to serve and protect, but not for babies. How low can you get? Time has changed for the worse. The police force of the past would be ashamed of what it is doing now in today's society. Today they go with the flow, but the past they went against the wind. You might find my approach was a bit too confrontational and judgmental. I would say you are right, because this is not a laughing matter. This is a serious business in the eyes of God, and whoever stays silent, do nothing about it, where their duties demanded, and not follow through with their promise to protect and save lives to everyone, you are all in great danger of committing a crime in the eyes of God. If you continue supporting the killing of babies, you are as guilty as those who commit it. You too have blood on your hands. Anyone who commits those crimes, I will rebuke and I will judge righteously when I see things that are wrong and offenses to God, our Creator. I will stand up and not stay silent. We are doing the same thing as in the past. Worship the god of Moloch, where they sacrifice babies by putting them on a fire plate and burning them alive. We are killing God's children just like they did in the Old Testament in the Bible. Police officers who work in the force, I do believe some of them do believe in God, but their hands are tied also. But you know what? I am telling you the truth. I am not kidding here. You must do something. You cannot just sit there and stay silent. You also have a responsibility to your neighbors. Imagine the police now protects the abortionists who are killing babies, not with a gun, but with surgical tools, which are far worse, because there is torturing going on in the womb, and the babies feels it, from being decapitated, dismembered, crushing skulls, burning alive fetus on a day-to-day basis. And this is not asked to stop. Do not think the mother find it easy going through with this. She is tortured just as well and could die from it. Have anyone realized that each and every one of us were also a zygote, a fetus, or whatever they want to call it, a clump of cell at one point in our lives, in our mother's womb? What happened if we leave that clump of cell there for 9 months of development? Well, what do you know? A beautiful and healthy baby created in God's image. That's what comes out. Don't come and tell me there is no life in there. Were we all like that ourselves at one point? If that baby inside the mother's womb would have a voice of its own, it would cry out loud in horror and would plead the mother not to kill me, but to let me live. I do not want to die, just like you do not want to die. I must reiterate, if anyone who stands peacefully in front of a clinic trying to save lives, they are arrested by the police and put in jail, And if found guilty from this all unlawful and unjust man's law, they are given a stiff sentence that could ruin their life forever. But the abortionist gets a free pass. They get a daily pass, which makes them become richer and richer with blood money. We can thank the Supreme Court ruling by giving women's production rights to kill their baby, the federal government, the provincial government, and the municipal government, plus you guys and gals of the police department agreeing to all of this. How sad. You too are in great danger from God's wrath, where you will have to give an account for all your deeds, words, and thoughts when you will face Jesus on your judgment day, and give an account why you did nothing to stop that. It will be too late then to ask for mercy on that day. Better do it now, not tomorrow. You could die today or tonight. We do not know when we will die, but it is a guarantee we will die someday. That is a promise, and nothing we can do to postpone or cancel that meeting with Jesus Christ. We hear so many times these days in the news media, especially in the United States, the police officers are not so welcome or respected anymore. They are labeled as racist and accused of using too much force when they are confronted by someone who does not want to cooperate, where it subsequently turns to violence and someone gets killed for it. Some police were ambushed and were killed for no reason, just because there is so much animosity toward them. They are speaking loudly to defund them, which it will make it worse. More crimes will rise if they accept this ridiculous ruling, and will come to the point it will be out of control. Take that as a lesson to all the police officers of the world. When you do not do what you are supposed to do and what you are being paid for, it could happen to you too, where you are. The police in that country have not done anything about the problem of abortion, just like you. So I believe it is a punishment from God for failing in their duties to save lives. Hope it will not happen, but I'm afraid it will get worse. May God have mercy on your soul if that happens. Be safe, and may God bless you all. Amen.